Hey guys, this is Reality here again, and I am just here to sort of talk about a new tech that was actually introduced with the most recent patch. It was a tech that was actually in the game in Season 0, and I think for the start of Season 1, although by then it only applied to bow. But in this case it applies to both bow and orb. And it's sort of useful. I think it's actually more useful than for orb than it is for bow right now, but you could probably find uses for both of them. Um, but let me just start out with talking about what the tech originally was. So originally in Season 0 and 1, bow had the ability to do a tab attack, and you could actually cancel your tab attack with a skill, and it would cause you to stay in bow instead of switching to whatever your other class is or your other karma. So what people would do is they would do the chase attack, they would tab, use a skill, and then stay in bow because of that. Now, obviously, they fixed this, or they patched it out. You can't do that anymore. You're not allowed to use a skill when you do a tab attack. But what they didn't do is they didn't realize, well, one of the ways you can cancel a tab attack is with a chase. But you couldn't really do that before because there wasn't really a time where you could tab attack while also activating a chase at the same time. Like, that didn't really exist, and it hasn't really existed until now, thanks to their last patch, which made it so that you can tab attack after the last hit of different commands. There are some commands you can't, but it's really weird which commands you can and cannot tab attack on. And bow actually does have one, so it's specifically LRR. Now, I don't know if you were meant to be able to tab attack off this, but you can. You notice that there's a tab attack right there. However, one of the things you guys should also know is you can actually chase after this. Charge it up all the way you can chase. So then, what we figured is, wait, so what if we chase and then tab attack? And what's funny is you can actually do both, or actually, sorry, I reversed that. You can actually now tab attack off of the last hit of that command and then go into a chase off of it, and I'll demonstrate that right now. See how I was able to get a tab attack in there right before I began the chase? So okay, let's take a look at the damage. This is how much damage it would normally have if I didn't do that. So that's about 5.5. Okay, so let's do it with it now. So that did 7.5k, so that's like an extra 2,000 damage that you add on to it. And this is pretty useful for bow because you're getting more damage faster, and obviously we still are sort of in a burst meta where we want to deal as much damage as possible in the fastest time possible. So it's definitely not a bad idea to do. However, the reason why, and I'll get into why it's, I think, better on orb, but for bow you can only do it off of that command. You cannot do it off of this command because you can't do a tab attack. You can't do it off of this command either. It doesn't count as a tab attack either. Same for this. You can't do it off of that. So it only works with LRR, and you have to charge it in order to get the chase. But it is something that is potentially somewhat useful. Maybe more so for poking, but in theory it can be used in a combo. So there's that. Let's go to Orb, who I think actually has it even better. Because Orb, for some reason, also got it, I think because it's got a ranged command that's, I guess, sort of similar. So Orb can actually do tab attacks off of the last hit of their LMB combo. So you can do it there. You can also do it, actually, if you do the RMB at all. I mistimed it. But you can actually do the tab attack there. What's interesting is you can do the tab attack off of the launcher, see, right there. And you probably could already see where I'm going because it still allowed me to hit spacebar there. So essentially you can actually do the chase attack on Orb normally, which did around 3.9k or 4k, or you could add the tab in. And as you can see, it did, again, about like 2k more damage, I think, or something. And this works with Communion as well. Actually works better with Communion because you can actually do some pretty crazy combos where you can do like this, This is without communion. So you can actually get extra damage in, and to be honest, this is really good because this is, I think this is why it's more useful for orb than it is with bows, because you can do this pretty consistently, and unlike bow where you have to do it with a command that's not really great to use in a combo, you use that command in combo all the time. Like 90% of the time people do L L L L R. Like that is the command you use because it goes into chase attack, and it lifts them again. So it's just a good command to use in general. And now you're getting extra damage on top of that, and you can do it over and over again, especially if you have communion. It makes it super easy. So let's do it with communion now. Oh, so actually, sorry, I messed up there. I think you do have to time it. It does require some timing. So there's one. And there's two. And you just get damage, so much damage, so fast. Because the tab attack actually deals quite a bit of damage. I mean, yeah, the tab attack itself almost deals around 2,000 damage. So you're literally, by doing that, you're adding another extra 2,000 damage each time you do your chase attack. And there's probably some more interesting stuff you can do with it, especially with orb, because you don't have to go for the chase attack. I think you can probably just do the tab and then space. And actually, let's see what happens if I do that. Okay, so I actually messed up there. I didn't do the space part. Yeah, so you can, like, I guess you would have to go for the chase attack, but it is pretty interesting that you can do that off of the orb launch. I mean, I guess if you are in Breaker and you want to finish off in Breaker, you could always do something where you do this and then you get to just launch into something. Although the camera angle does get a bit weird. I don't actually know if you can chase with the Breaker, though. I don't think you can, just because it's a ranged chase attack instead of a physical chase, so I don't think it transfers that way. I mean, maybe it does, but it doesn't look like it does. Yeah, like, it looks like it tried to chase, but it didn't really do it right. Here, I'll try it one more time. Yeah, it sort of bugs out when you try to chase like that, but it definitely, I think it's better to just go for the orb cancel, and just try to stay in orb to get more damage. But again, it's really good for getting more damage faster, and it's an interesting tech to do. It makes comboing a little more unique, I think, because it is sort of hard to time, and if you time it wrong, or if you mess up at all, you do end up sort of not necessarily in a bad position, but you do sort of end up resetting neutral because you end up in Breaker and they can actually get out, I think, by tech rolling or something. But definitely, actually, I think even if you do mess up, usually you're pretty safe because it launches them up, actually. So in general, I think people should probably try doing this more. I think it's a little more technical, which is obviously, I think, better because it does require some timing, like I said. You can mess up with it, and I think it's something you should do because, again, it adds more damage. Sure, it's more difficult to do, but this game needs difficulty when it comes to combos, to be honest. So I hope more people do it or try to do it because, again, it is more damage in a faster amount of time, extra 2,000 damage. So anyway, thanks everybody for watching, and hope you enjoyed.